Kabir Adamu, you're a security analyst and managing director at Beacon Security and Intelligence Consulting, joining us from Abuja. Thanks so much for your time. The most obvious question to you is, what's behind these kidnappings?
In simple terms, there are willing and capable actors, several non-state armed groups who have the capability and capacity to attack mainly soft targets behind this incident. The one in Burning Kebbi, where 25 students were abducted, was most likely carried out by bandits. And then, of course, the one in Niger State, it's likely to be either bandits or groups that are ideologically inclined. The same thing with the church attack in Kwara State. So these actors have shown the capacity and capability to attack. The second thing is the motive behind the attack. They usually demand for ransom. The ransom is being paid. And of course, that means the incentive to continue. That the third point is the vulnerability of these targets. They are soft targets that unfortunately over time, the Nigerian state has not supported the increase of their hardening in terms of the physical security protection around them.
Right, and why is it that these groups are able to move in and out of communities with this impunity?
So two reasons. Number one is the existence of forested and mountainous parts where there is very little security presence. The second element is the very keen deployment of security forces as you move away from the urban centers into the rural areas where most of these incidents occur. The presence of security forces is extremely keen. The third point is the inability of the Nigerian state to have modern surveillance capabilities that would allow them to track and then, of course, with light forces deploy and prevent these types of mass abductions.
Is the government simply failing at trying to control this? Because we often hear repeated promises after each mass kidnapping, yet little changes on the ground. And as you know, Nigeria even launched an initiative, the Safe Schools Initiative, after the Chibok kidnappings, yet these mass abductions are continuing. So has the government failed?
In simple terms, yes. Apart from the Safe School Initiative, there is the Safe School Declaration. There is a national policy on safe, secure, and violence-free schools. So it's not an absence of initiative. Unfortunately, it's the inability to implement these initiatives. And I think this is something that cuts across a lot of the projects and programs that government has gone into. Implementing M&E monitoring and evaluation mechanisms to show clearly how these programs are being implemented has not failed. I mean, add to that, there is also international loans. And the World Bank, for instance, is supporting a program called Agile that also has a security component. So again, it's really the absence of such an M&E monitoring and evaluation mechanism to ensure that these programs are fully implemented.
So looking ahead then, what sort of concrete measures should the Nigerian government, as well as its international partners, be prioritizing to prevent future mass kidnappings like these?
There are, the development side, which looks at the implementation of some of these programs. I listed about 4 of them. So the introduction of clear key performance indicators that will be measurable over a period. And in this instance, I think the National Assembly, Nigeria has a bicameral assembly, the Senate and the House of Representatives, they need to play a role in terms of the oversight functions that they give the organizations under the Ministry of Education. For our international partners, I think it's not just about giving these loans, but making sure that these loans are utilized in the manner and that the loans were given out for. Unfortunately, we're not seeing enough of that. And I think also as Nigerians, including the fourth estate of the realm, the media, we need to also pay close attention around these issues to make sure we put pressure on the government and on the international partners so that no one among them drops the ball.
Kabir Adamu speaking to us from Abuja. Thank you so much for your time.